Thanks, Gerardo. My name is David. I'm going to talk about the soil moisture aspect of our work package, which is carried out by myself and colleagues at CEH in the UK, and also with University of Athens on the linked data aspects of the work. So I'm going to talk about the rescue of a valuable historic soil moisture measurement data set, how we've used linked data to increase the discoverability and reusability of the data set, and the two portals that we've developed, one a research linked data portal and the other one a long-term sustainable portal, and how we're going about making the soil moisture data set available as open data. So why soil moisture? The main application we've been focusing on is the greenhouse gas inventory, the agricultural inventory, where soil moisture is a key driver for emissions of nitrous oxide. This is a powerful greenhouse gas, and soil moisture is a major source of uncertainty in the current inventory. So we're looking towards the next generation of greenhouse gas inventories, where hopefully we'll gain a greater understanding of spatial and temporal variability, and this new soil moisture data set will help us with this. And also, by producing data as linked open data, it's really ideal for discovery and reuse of data. And this means beyond the inventories, we can actually use it in a whole host of applications, for example, improved understanding of floods and drought processes, improved meteorological forecasts, and extending our variables historically. So we've got a huge potential impact from this data set. Now, in the data set that we're talking about, which are point neutron probe measurements, these are quite labor intensive to make. I mean, basically this large point source of fast neutrons is lowered into a tube, and the measurements are taken. But it's a time-consuming process. It's also potentially hazardous because of the radioactive source. And this means that our historic data sets are sparse in time and space. Much more modern techniques that we have now through satellite and cheaper point sensors, new cosmic ray sensors, we've got much better data capture, but what we don't have is the historic timeline, which this historic soil moisture data set gives us. So how did we go about the data rescue? Basically, most of the data we're talking about comes from the Soil Moisture Data Bank, which was basically stored on fragile magnetic tapes. There was a report written about it, but the data wasn't widely available. So it was rescued, checked for errors, emissions, and consistency, and corrected where that was possible. And we've got a data set where we're looking at over 300 measurement tubes across 64 sites of the UK. We've also added more recent data from other projects, and we've got a nice data set now which goes back from the late 60s until 2013. And where possible, we've documented land cover and soil type for each tube. So we want to make this new soil moisture data set available as open data, but what would be the best way of doing it? Well, as part of this project, we've been looking at making it available as linked data. And, you know, the advantage of this is that we could potentially join it with other related data sets that have also been published as linked data, such as land cover, model data, catchment boundaries, administrative information. And we could explore these data sets together in one portal. So we've been building upon the geospatial linked data tools that have been developed by the University of Athens. So we created, with the help of George Stamoulis and others at the University of Athens, working with Sam Tomlinson, a linked data portal based on Sextant. Now, Sextant allows technical users to execute their own linked data queries, but queries can also be pre-configured, so non-expert users can also use it to explore data. Here we've requested sites that exist in a particular catchment, and we've got information about land cover, and we can compare land cover that's within the soil moisture data set with other land cover data sets, such as MELODIES land cover. And this is important because land cover and soil moisture are intrinsically linked. Here's another view of our data. We're actually comparing now measured soil moisture data with modelled data from the grid-to-grid model and looking at the differences shown by the colours between the measured and modelled data. And here we're connecting to a different linked data endpoint, which happens to be the Ordnance Survey, and here we're bringing in administrative information about where our sites are. But we also, thinking about the sustainability of the data set, we also wanted to make sure that we were able to serve this data in a long-term portal. So what we've also done is create another portal which is built on CEH's environmental information platform, which is already serving up other environmental data portals, and it's based on a common framework. And this portal will help users explore the data. For example, to answer questions, are there any data in my area of interest, in my time window of interest, and for my land cover class of interest? Are the data any good for my purposes? So it's a quick and easy way to explore the data. As I said, it's built on CEH's environmental information platform. So just quickly some screenshots. You'll be able to see more of the portal in the demos this afternoon. But here you can select a date range you're interested in. We've also got both the MELODIES and the CEH land cover map to look at land cover. And you can visualize soil moisture against time with different color lines for different depths. Another view we have of data is actually showing depth on the y-axis, and you can sort of see a profile of the soil moisture and see how it's more variable at the surface compared to further down. We've also got tabular views of the data as well. Okay, so the portal's there, but how are you going to find the data? Well, we're going to catalogue it in the Environmental Information Data Centre. And that catalogue is actually, because it's done in a standards compliant way, is harvested both by data.gov.uk and also by the Inspire Geo portal. So hopefully this data set will be easy to discover, find and use. So just to say finally, the data set will be available as open data soon on the Environmental Information Platform. Do come and see the MELODIES land cover map and the Soil Moisture Explorer at the demo session this afternoon. And you're also invited to sign up if you're interested in either of these data sets, and we can let you know when they become available to use. Thank you very much.
So excellently done. We didn't get to hear the timer, but it does mean we have a bit of time for questions, if anyone has a question or two.
Yeah, good morning. I'm not sure whether it would fit here, because this is mostly a technologically oriented project, and you, in a wonderful way, you showed how you made data better accessible. But you're from the NERC, and the NERC is, of course, in charge of improving environmental situation in the UK for the population, and the UK is a flood-prone country, as we have seen in the past years, and in addition, I'm not sure if it is true for the UK, but on the continent we had this summer especially damage to the harvest due to hail and torrential rain. So the question would be, is this data set, or this compendium of data you make accessible, is it suitable to make better predictions? Because when we improve in this domain, then we can yield enormous benefits for population, better prediction of damage to harvest, and also of flood-prone areas of floodings, mostly local. So mode is maybe too coarse to address this, but we have seen the Lancet example from Australia yesterday, comparing pixel by pixel, 25 by 25 meters over the years, and seeing where is the moisture and so on.
Well, I think the beauty of this data set is it does enable us to validate our existing models, and we will directly see how the soil moisture and runoff work in terms of flooding events. So yes, I mean, I think there's a lot of untapped potential, and we've been collating the data together. We're going to make it available, and then I think there's a lot of potential uses of it when people come to look at it. So I think that's the nice thing about the Explorer, because you'll be able to very quickly see where the data are. Are they any good for your purpose, for example, flood prediction, and then be able to download them and use them.